إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم أفيضوا من حيث أفاض الناس واستغفروا الله إن الله غفور رحيم. My brothers and sisters, this is one of the verses, beautiful verses of the Quran that is in Surah Al-Baqarah, and it came at the time of Hajj. It is about the Hajj. Once you have performed the Hajj, the day of Arafah is over. You have already left Arafah, which is Hajj. Prophet Muhammad said, Al-Hajj Arafah. So this is this verse about. After you've done it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing here, ordering us to do something. But before I tell you further about this ayah and connect it with where we left off, I want to remind you of something related to Hajj, that it's a story, good story to inshallah start our khutbah with. The year of siege around the house of Uthman radiallahu anhu, when he was in a siege, that year he did not lead Hajj. Otherwise, unlike our today's times, unfortunately, unlike today, back in the good old days, our Khalifa, Amirul Mu'mineen, was so knowledgeable, so much capable, that actually he used to be the Imam of Hajj as well. Sadly, today, these days, you ask them to recite Surah Ikhlas, our kids would know, but they don't know. See, this is how we have dropped our levels. And when the leaders' levels drop, it's like a pool. He's like a pool that people drink from. Everybody's level drops. And you can see, unfortunately, a prevailing jahiliyyah in the ummah also. So it starts from top to bottom. It doesn't go from bottom to top. You will always find people who are not up to this task, up to the level. Even in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not everybody came to Salah, not everybody prayed behind him. But when the leaders are good, when they are following the Khutbah, the Imam, the guide, which is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everybody benefits from. Like in this story, when Uthman did not give Khutbah that year, he did not lead Hajj, he was in the siege, he sent Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhu, because I was talking about him last year. The youth of Islam, look where he is. Only in few years that he is leading. In Umar's time, Umar is asking about Abbas and challenging people that tell me if anyone knows better understanding of إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ than this man. And now in Uthman's time, he is leading the Hajjis. And he gave a khutbah there that is worth knowing, that in that khutbah, in the Hajj actually, he recited the Surah Nur, one of the beautiful surahs of the Quran. And according to Abu Wa'il radiallahu anhu, he said, Wallahi, afterwards he gave a tafsir of Surah Nur. He said, by God, I swear by Allah, if the kuffar of Daylam, meaning non-believers of Daylam, a country, a state at that time was still kafir. Okay? He said, if they heard this tafsir, wallahi, they all would have become Muslims. They all would have accepted Islam. Such a beautiful tafsir of Surah Nur. But last week we heard about Surah إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ, Surah Nasr. Few things it's important to know, brothers. and sisters, that in the fadail of the surah, in Tafsir Ibn Kathir, you will find riwayat saying that إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ Surah Nasr, or Surah Al-Kafirun, or Surah Al-Zilzal, these are 1/4 of the Quran. All of these reports are inauthentic. Regardless of how high the status of the surah is, you have to know this, that these reports are inauthentic, and they're all narrated in one place, in actually Jami' Tirmidhi. Originally they have come only in one book, and Muhaddithin have graded this, and actually they said that one of the narrators in these reports is unknown person, is an unknown person. So when you have a missing link or an unknown person in a chain, it becomes unreliable. So regardless, as I said, of the high status of the surahs of the Quran, there's no doubt about that, but it is not 1/4 of the Quran, neither half of the Quran, and riwayat like that. They all have come from one place, one source, and from that one source there is a missing link, an unknown narrator. When we have that, there is an ambiguity right there, we leave it alone. We don't take it. Alright? So, Ibn Abbas used to ask people also a question about this surah, which is worth knowing as well. He asked one of the tabi'een that, do you know what is the last surah of the Quran? The last surah. Not Qul A'udhu bi Rabbin Nas. We're talking about in the order of revelation. And this is in Sahih Muslim actually. This is in Sahih Muslim, Kitab al-Tafsir, authentic hadith, in the book of Tafsir, book of exegesis. And they said, the Tabi'i said, I think it's Surah Nasr. He said, Alhamdulillah, you have spoken the truth. This is the last surah of the Quran from a revelation standpoint, from the wahi standpoint. As a surah, it is the last chapter that came all at once on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My brothers and sisters, I want to remind myself and you once again an important sunnah that we must uphold, and many do hold and many don't know, but I'll remind myself and everybody once again, that after Salah, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to, as soon as he made taslim, Imam Bukhari narrated this, Imam Abu Dawood, and many other books of hadith have it narrated, chapters actually dedicated, that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, after saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, he used to say, Allahu Akbar, takbir, once. And then he used to say, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah 3 times. 3 times. See, my brothers and sisters, Astaghfirullah 3 times. Nabi of Allah is saying, after the Salah. Salah was something beautiful, something good. What sin did you and I do that you are saying Astaghfirullah after the Salah? After you've done something great. And again, I would like to emphasize on this point that my brothers and sisters, unfortunately, we only practice one kind of istighfar, sadly, or we know only one kind, which is our own ignorance, which is the istighfar we do when we mess up, when we do something wrong. That's a lower level of istighfar. It is not a high level istighfar. Istighfar of the great people, of the honorable ones, or istighfar that is loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is called istighfar ala ta'ah. On obedience, on something great, you say astaghfirullah. Like this verse of the Quran, my brothers and sisters, just like this verse of the Quran, here I'm coming again where I started the khutbah with beautiful reflection for all of us to reflect upon, that just like Salah, we've done good things, but after good things we're saying astaghfirullah. Oh Allah, forgive us. Why? In Hajj, you've done Hajj, the day of Arafah. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said there is no day bigger than the day of Arafah. Most people are liberated from hell on that day. And scholars of Islam say that if you've been in Arafah and you've asked Allah for forgiveness, don't even think that Allah has not forgiven you. If you have sincerely asked Allah and made tawbah, don't even think Allah will not accept your tawbah. And yet, what Allah says here, when you leave Arafat, فَإِذَا أَفَضْتُم مِّنْ عَرَفَاتٍ, when you left Arafat, فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهِ. Ayah 191, I believe. 198. Surah Baqarah, Ayah 198. فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهِ. Make dhikr of Allah after you've left Arafat. After you've been forgiven, make dhikr of Allah. And then it gets even, just like Surah Nasr. فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ. Do tasbih, tahmeed, dhikr. And when you're departing, as people are departing, ثُمَّ أَفِيضُوا مِنْ حَيْثُ أَفَاضَ النَّاسِ وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Allah is very forgiving and merciful. Nakira. Common now. Real emphasis. Oft forgiving and oft merciful. Closest in English translations you find. Astaghfirullah. After you've done Arafah. After you've been forgiven, inshallah. Yes, Allah is saying astaghfirullah. This is the istighfar that we need to have in our lives and realize that Anbiya of Allah, Prophets of Allah did it. Righteous people of Allah have done it. Salihin. Those who stood up on this deen. Those who were persistent in ibadah. Not like one day Muslim, the other day in a club. Not like that. Those who were firm on this deen. They used to say astaghfirullah after the obedience of Allah as well. Why? So that, oh Allah, if there is anything which is not of your liking, forgive me on that. If there is anything you did not like in this, forgive me on that. This shows humility. This teaches us humbleness, that we are humble before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't have fakhr, we don't have kibr, nothing like that. And I will conclude this section on two things. Another tasbih that I asked actually after the khutbah, 2 days after the khutbah, the brothers, did you remember? 2 and 3 of my, friends, they did not remember. One of them said, man, I don't have a good memory, I forgot. So it's true that not everything you're listening will be retained here. But let me repeat it again. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when this hukm of Allah came on him, that do tasbih, tahmeed of your Lord and make istighfar, what did he do? He answered it. That's why he's walking Quran. Quran says one thing and you can see the book in him. In his ruku, in his sujood. Al-Mu'mineen said, what did he say? Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik Allahumma gfirli. Please add that. Your salah will not be boring, inshallah. Unfortunately, we're stuck with that 5-year-old or 7-year-old lesson of salah that we learned when we were kids. Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil Ala, and that's it. We're stuck on that. We don't want to learn more. It's like you want to be in first grade. You don't want to go to the high school, to the college and all that. In dunya, we want that. But in deen is cheap. My brothers and sisters, learn these things. Add these in your salawat. And you will see the difference in your ruku and sujood. You will enjoy. Try it. Please try it. And then come back and tell me, did you enjoy it or not? He used to say, Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, or Rabbana wa bihamdik. Same thing, both riwayat are there. Oh Allah, glory be to you. You are perfect. You are the absolute one. Nothing, no perfection is like yours. All perfection belongs to you. You do not make sins. You do not make mistakes. We are the ones who make mistakes. Forgive me, forgive me. That's all he's saying. Learn it, my brothers and sisters. Learn it, please. Add it to your salawat. And when he heard it, obviously, Nabi of Allah, he knows that this is his time. It's coming. First thing he does after knowing this, according to several riwayat, several, in dozens, many, Bukhari, Muslim, and other books of hadith, he visits Uhud. Uhud, where he had a defeat, not a victory. Where he had a defeat, not a victory. Where he almost died that day. Many of his beloved companions died, protecting him and other believers. People lost their whole families there. He visits them to the shuhada. And Uqba ibn Amir radiallahu anhu, when he reached Uhud, he said, Inni faratun alaykum, wa ana shahidun alaykum. He's talking to the shuhada, to the martyrs. Allahu Akbar. He said, before he started addressing them, he made a long dua, like the dua of janazah. Funeral, you know the invocations of janazah? Please learn them, if you can. Teach them to your children so that when you die, or I die, they can pray on us. We need to have someone who will make dua for us. If we have not done so, assign that as your to-do list, that you're going to teach your children dua of janazah. There's many beautiful du'as. Teach them the meanings, translations, as you like. But please do teach them. We want somebody making dua for us. So, he made that dua. After that, he returned back to the minbar, and this is where he said, "O people of Uhud," he was addressing them, "I am joining you very soon, and I am a shaheed upon you, I'm a witness upon you. وَإِنِّي وَاللَّهِ لَأَنْظُرُ إِنِّي حَوْض لَإِنِّي حَوْضُ الْآنِ, as if right now I am seeing the pool, Al-Hawd al-Kawthar, that Allah will bless it with, and He will give the drink to the believers. May Allah make you and I among those who will drink from the hands of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma ameen. He said, and then he told them that I am going to join you very soon. And he says, فَإِنِّي قَدْ أُوتِيتُ مَفَاتِيحَ خَزَائِنِ الْأَرْضِ. No doubt I've been given the keys to the treasures of this earth. وَإِنِّي وَاللَّهِ مَا أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ أَن تُشْرِكُوا بَعْدِي. And by God, and now he's addressing the companions who were listening to the khutbah. So today you're listening to a khutbah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that his companions heard from the minbar. Very valuable khutbah. He said, by Allah, I swear by Allah, I am not afraid that you will make shirk after me. I'm not afraid of that. And here, my brothers and sisters, because of this statement, Muslims, unfortunately today, have abused this statement, half statement, out of the khutbah so bad that they will be committing shirk, making sajda to live persons. I have seen it with my own eyes. With my own eyes. People making sajda to a live, living person. So no, the Muslims are not going to make shirk because Prophet said Muslims are not going to make shirk. Astaghfirullah, juhal. Ignorant people. Prophet said this to the Sahaba. He was addressing them, not you and me. Because he said it. He said, remember, Day of Judgment, 7116 Bukhari. Day of Judgment will not occur until the worship of idols will begin again. And some of our own tribes, Arab tribes, like the tribe of Daws from Yemen, will recreate the idols of Dhul Khalifa. And women of that tribe will circumambulate like tawaf of Kaaba, like the tawaf of Kaaba, around that idol. And wallahi, Allah has lifted the veils of unseen and I can see it happening. He said, remember, when that happens, the Day of Judgment is coming. A bad news for us, that the first brick of that sign of Day of Judgment has been put by our own filthy, wicked rulers right now in Arabian Peninsula. The biggest temple, pagan temple in the Arab land that Prophet ﷺ said, I am inshallah not worried that paganism will come here again. It's coming. First brick has been put. It's going to be the biggest temple of the Arab lands by these wicked rulers that some of Muslims worship. Be careful, my brothers and sisters. Because if you are giving them loyalty of this kind, that even their wrongs are your rights and you're supporting it, you remember, you will be part of it. You will be questioned about it. Don't be a part of it. The least you can do is say, oh Allah, I'm not part of it. Make dua against it. Oh Allah, remove this kind of evil. Because Prophet said it will come. But right now, he said, I am not worried about your shirk. He told his Sahaba that, Alhamdulillah, I am leaving because one of his names is Al-Mahi. He wouldn't have left Arabia, my brothers and sisters, if Allah had not wiped out Al-Mahi. You know what's Al-Mahi? The one who wipes out, erases disbelief. الَّذِي يَمْحُ اللَّهُ بِيَ الْكُفْرِ. This is one of his names, one of the special 5 names of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that no man has been given in those qualities. One of them is Al-Mahi. He said that has happened, and inshallah, I am not worried about that. But my concern about you, my companions, is this. وَلَكِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ أَن تَتَنَافَسُوا فِيهَا. Remember, خَزَائِنُ الْأَرْضِ, victories, money, wealth, expansion, more land, more properties. These things are coming. But I am worried that you will be tested in this. You will be tested with this dunya. إِنَّمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ fitna. It's a fitna. And he says, this could put you in big destruction. So watch out. And if you fell in that fitna, and if you failed in this fitna, you will be destroyed like the nations before you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to remind you something very important here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Muslims victory in Badr. My brothers, whoever's azan is going on, could you please turn it off? Adhan in the phone? Inshallah. Because this is a violation of the khutbah. You cannot do dhikr in the khutbah, and you cannot, I have to listen to this adhan, I can't stop. This is not fair. So please make sure your phone's adhan volumes are either switched off or something. In fact, I'm distracted in the khutbah, but I'll tell you this. Ulama of Makkah, more than a dozen of them gathered and issued a fatwa, and it's good for everybody to know, to not to have the ringtones as verses of the Quran, or like Anashid of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, because they said it can be very disrespectful to Allah and His Rasul. What if you're in the bathroom and this thing plays over there? Just have a simple ringtone. So anyway, inshallah, deen is nasiha. Now, Badr, my brothers and sisters, Allah calls it Yawmul Furqan, the day of victory. Angels came from the heavens, starting with Jibreel alayhi salam and thousands of them. Allah gave Muslims big victory. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala glorifies it in the Quran. But what happened? Why Uhud so special? So special that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he returns back to Medina anytime, he looks at Uhud and he says, هَذَا جَبْلُ يُحِبُّنَا وَنُحِبُّهُ. This is the mount that loves us and we love him. Brothers, an inanimate object, a mountain, rocks, yes, they have a life that you and I don't see it, but Prophet Muhammad is telling us again and again that he loves me and I love him. If a rock can love Prophet Muhammad, why can't we love Rasulullah? Let us love him, inshallah. So my brothers and sisters, sometimes it is worth knowing that a defeat, a loss could be more beneficial to the ummah than the victory. Victory, everybody wins. But defeat, you learn the lessons. And I want to conclude today, this last khutbah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that he gave. And of course his concern was, the timing is very important because he's coming from Uhud. He's talking about fitnas that could afflict the Sahaba. Why? Because Nabi, remember Nabi, Prophet of Allah, is an aman, is a safety over his people. When he leaves, his people are tested, like every prophet before, and thus Sahaba were also tested. It is inevitable. That's why he's giving them a reference after the Uhud, where they had a defeat. And that defeat, Allah says, that this is a defeat that you should learn lessons from. We violated Rasulullah's command and we had a problem. That is why Rasulullah, the timing is very important, that he comes from Uhud, where they had a defeat, and he's reminding them that, remember, don't fall in the fitna. And there's a beautiful story here. Sheikh Abdul, his student Abdul Rashid Rida al-Misri, in Tafsir al-Manar and Tafsir Namuna, this has come, very famous scholar of Islam. He said, Sheikh Abdul saw Prophet Muhammad in his dream. He said, "Oh Rasulullah, if Allah gave you a choice on that day of Uhud, would you choose victory or would you choose defeat? What would you have chosen if Allah gave you a choice?" Prophet Muhammad said, "I would have chosen defeat." That Uhud defeat gave us something that many of the Sahaba were wishing all their lives for. The drink of martyrdom, the news of going to Jannah, and so forth. And many, many lessons, great lessons they learned from that defeat. That's why he told Rasulullah in the dream that yes, I would have chosen that day as it happened. This is what Allah was radi with, and I am radi of that. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all tawfiq and help us all in all forms or shape, all the Muslims who are suffering, may Allah give them shifa. Any sickness, any ailment that Muslims, brothers and sisters in any place of the world and in here who are in any affliction, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for them, get them out of this, find a makhraj for them. May Allah help our Syrian brothers and sisters who are suffering, our brothers in Yemen who are not being mentioned in our prayers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help them. May Allah give us tawfiq to make dua for them at least. May Allah help our brothers and sisters all across the globe, inshallah. People in Iraq, people in Libya, wherever they're suffering. Oh Allah, help the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma ansur ummata Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma farij ummata Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma arham ummata Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Inna Allah ta'ala قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. أقم الصلاة.